mid-January 2020. It's approximately 15 degrees Fahrenheit. It's been snowing for probably 18 hours now. Winds gusting 20, 25, maybe up to 30 miles per hour. You're looking right now northeast, and I'm swinging around. I'm going to look due east. There's probably 8 inches of snow on the flat. It's hard to tell because it's drifting in spots. You see the corner there. Where we used to keep our animals, our large animals, which we don't have anymore. This is all now just pasture land, or I should rather say hayfield. Part of it used to be a pasture land, and it gets hayed in the summer. My neighbor mows it and bales it, and I let him take it because I don't want anything to do with hay anymore. I've spent my life handling hay bales, and I'm all done with that. Well, welcome back, folks. This video is going to be a follow-up to the one I did a number of videos ago when I talked about sodium bicarbonate, otherwise known as soda media blast, typically used to clean softer metals like aluminum. What you see in the shot right now is my original soda blast unit that I talked about in that video. However, what's different about this video is I had to make some changes to the tank unplanned, and I'll take you through briefly what happened and the changes that I made. A couple of weeks ago, I found these 3 parts that are in my hand on the floor of my shop, on the opposite side of the shop where I store my restoration projects and some of my other bikes, my riders. And I just was wandering over there one day and found these 3 items just laying there. And they were right below my 2 garage door openers. And I've been having a little trouble. Last fall I was having a little trouble with that opener, that garage door opener. So I thought, well, these perhaps came from the garage door opener mechanism or the trolley. So I spent probably an hour one day up on a ladder going over the opener, and I couldn't figure out where these parts came from. They didn't seem to have come from the opener. So I just set them aside and moved on to other things and was shooting some videos and working on some projects. So a couple of days ago, I went to retrieve the soda blast tank, that blue tank I just showed you in a shot a minute ago, to do some soda blasting on the Yamaha oil and carburetors. And lo and behold, I discovered, and this is the regulator that was on the tank. These parts were the pressure regulator adjusting components. You can see they fit in right here. It had to come apart, and I don't recall that happening. I don't know if it was spontaneous one day. Something failed, but you can see these parts. Actually, what happens is this spring goes down inside of there. That mechanism fits down in like that, and then this fits over the top like that. And that was really part of the regulator assembly. I don't recall that happening when I put the tank away last time I used it, but nonetheless, I figured out that's where those parts came from. And this is an inexpensive regulator that came with the tank originally. So what I just decided to do is replace it with a new one. So this whole assembly here is new. I picked it up at Harbor Freight, just the regulator, a couple of days ago. The on and off valve here is new. I picked that up at a hardware store. So this is a new valve. The nipple is the original. I just polished it up and reattached everything here. The gauge came with the valve, so the regulator, so I didn't bother changing the gauge out. I kept that one. And on the top, this valve also is new. See if you can get a good shot of that or a good view of that. Let me reposition that for you here. think that's a little bit better right there. That valve is new also. It's the same valve that's on the lower end, and that just shuts off the hose. It's a 90-degree ball valve. Both of them are just 90-degree ball valves. It does have a built-in, at least I think it's supposed to be a built-in on and off valve right here, this gold valve, which never worked. From the day I bought this valve has never worked. That's why I put a valve up here on top originally when I bought this a few years ago. These are the original valves that I took off of the tank when I replaced these parts the other day. This was the original valve that was on the top block that I just talked about. This valve is the one that I put on the bottom, and this was leaking like a sieve. In fact, both of these were leaking really badly. That's why I replaced them. So the bottom line is I replaced the regulator and the gauge here at the bottom, along with a new valve. The air supply nipple is original, just polished. New valve at the top. Everything else I think is original, and then the old components, of course, are here off to the left. Whether this will make a difference or not for bead blasting, I really don't know. I haven't used it yet. I already completed the blasting of the Yamaha Y01 carburetors by jury-rigging the old regulator there just to make it work, because I was all set up for it doing the blasting when I realized that regulator had that failure I had talked about a few minutes ago. So that's the update on the Soda Blast tank and some of the changes I made. Any comments or questions, drop me a note. Otherwise, as usual, thanks for watching.